late Thursday night, the Senate passed a resolution that would allow the FAA flexibility in its budget to stop the furlough of air traffic controllers that has, of course, led to massive delays in flights across the country throughout the last week. Now, they're not actually providing any extra funding that was cut during the sequester, but they are allowing them to move money around. And so previously, they'd cut money from the FAA's labor budget, but now they're apparently going to be taking, I don't know, I guess, airport improvement funds. So now you're going to get on your plane in time, but the airport's going to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So they did that. This is the Reducing Flight Delays Act of 2013. It passed incredibly quickly, unanimous consent. And I wonder, is it a coincidence that of all the things that were cut in the sequester, this is what they choose to put the money back into?
Yeah. Well, the fact that congressmen and senators constantly take flights back home to their districts and to their states and then back to D.C., that probably had nothing to do with it, right, Jimmy? I mean, they just care about everything equally. This is the thing in the sequester that happens to affect them the very most, but that's probably just a coincidence, right?
Well, when we, the congressmen are like, well, when we passed the bill that we're going to cut funds to the FAA, I didn't know it was going to affect my flights.
Yeah, exactly. So meanwhile, John, what are the different plans, different things that they're cutting that they apparently don't care much about?
Yeah, so Head Start still being cut. Apparently not a lot of congressmen taking part in Head Start. Meals on Wheels still being scaled back. Private cancer clinics denied treatment. And if you remember from our coverage when the sequester was being proposed, there's also things like housing assistance, STD testing, HIV treatment, like things like that. And so a lot of the things that would affect non-congressmen still being cut drastically.
So don't you think, I mean, what is Barack Obama's plan for this? Because this is going to kill his economic recovery, and it doesn't seem like he has a plan to figure this out, except I'll cut Social Security.
So, well, that's interesting, right? So part of his plan was to inflict pain across the board and try to have it hit Congress a little bit so that they don't go, Head Start. I already got a huge Head Start. What do I need that for, right? So could he have moved money around so the FAA didn't have to delay flights? My guess is he could have, right? He did it on purpose to say, hey, listen, man, pay attention because this could affect you too. And that's why one of the first things he canceled or brought down is White House tours. Because a lot of congressmen do like favors for their hometown district by saying, hey, I'll get you a White House tour. So that's why Fox News, the first thing they were crying about, not like clinics, cancer clinics who can't treat Medicare patients anymore. They're like, yeah, we're not poor. Poor people getting cancer, so what's new, buddy? Right? They didn't give a damn. They're like, the White House tours, how dare they, right? So now the problem with that strategy, Jimmy, is, well, they just passed the resolution so that their congressmen and senators are no longer affected. So they're back to not giving a damn about the poor and the middle class that are getting buried.
Well, like when you cut social services and military spending equally, then a month later they just restore the military funding. Like they're flexible enough to do that sort of thing.
It's like, well, Joe Biden always says that don't tell me what your priorities are, show me your budget, and I'll tell you what your priorities are. And so apparently our priorities are easy access to air travel and screwing over cancer patients, right? We don't really care. That's amazing that they just did that. That's really their priorities.
No, Jimmy, that's a great point. I mean, you read how they have decided to move the sequester money around. You know, even though they weren't supposed to, you're not supposed to touch the sequester. That's the whole point of the sequesters, that they did this deal, and it hurts everybody across the board, and we got to live with it. And of course, when it hurt them, they're like, I mean, we meant everybody that not named us, right? Like, of course it's not supposed to affect us. We're the elite.
We mean preschoolers and cancer patients and poor people, not us.
Yeah, now wait a minute. You got cancer? But my flight is delayed half an hour? Oh, hell no. You get double cancer, but my flight's going to be on time.
Well, no, but silver lining for cancer patients. They can get on their plane quicker now.
Oh, sure.
There you go.
People can fly home quicker for their funeral, is what you're saying.